So imagine living in a country where you're working 50 to 60 hours a week and you're forced to give a minimum of 43% of your wage to the government.
So I'm buying beef at Costco and those are the prices. What the fuck?
You know, if the country isn't taking care of its own citizens when it comes to the crime rates, when it comes to inflation, the cost of living, everything that is affecting Canadians right now, can we say at this point that Canada is a fallen state? If so, how do we fix it? Leave your thoughts down below in the comment section. We have a bunch of videos to react to today, but before we do that, I also want to let you guys know that about 70% of you guys are not yet subscribed. So if you find yourself coming back to the channel and watching content, please consider subscribing to the channel. And with that being said, let's dive straight into it today. Jewelry store robbery inside Newmarket's Upper Canada Mall. Newmarket used to be considered a very safe little city here in Canada, just north of Toronto, but not anymore. We're having a lot of smash and grabs happening right now, and the suspects are still at large. 4 suspects here at this jewelry store. Why is it jewelry stores? There's so many places like this and so many videos like this now that we see online of these jewelry stores being robbed. It feels like the 2 things that are being stolen the most right now in Canada is jewelry and cars. Go figure.
So imagine living in a country where you're working 50 to 60 hours a week and you're forced to give a minimum of 43% of your wage to the government. Then anything that you buy, you're paying an additional 7 to 14% in tax on those goods. After paying for your rent and food, which is extortionate, you have pretty much nothing left to save or to use for additional spending. There are thousands of people that are called the working poor, and essentially they are working a job but they cannot afford to live. They cannot afford to pay rent. So you see a lot of these people in tent cities. Now, with that 43% that the government is taking from your wage, you are told that you get free healthcare and free education. But that free healthcare looks like waiting months and months to get into a family doctor if you're lucky enough to get one, to a specialist. Even if you have a significant disease like cancer or like something that is life-threatening, you still have to wait months and months. Not only that, but when you have an emergency, you have to pray that you will get in time before you have catastrophic injuries, permanent damage, or even death. Free education for your kids looks like overcrowded classrooms, no resources, no music or library rooms in many of the schools because they've been converted into classrooms. An undersupply of teachers, exhausted teachers, and it's not their fault because they are having their classrooms overcrowded with children and with children who are on IEPs who have multiple different additional needs. And the cherry on top is that this country that you're living in is letting multiple illegal immigrants into your country, and you have to pay for them. You have to pay for their hotels. You have to pay for their food. Many of them cannot find jobs. Many of them don't have skills to have jobs, but you're going to pay for them. You are also being told by the people who are supposed to be protecting you or in charge of security that you are not allowed to fight back if someone comes into your house, or if somebody tries to do something to your family, or if somebody is trying to rob you. You need to sit back like a good person and wait for the police to come and handle it. Would you move to a country like that? Probably not, but that's the reality of Canada.
You know what the funny thing is? She points out so many good examples as to why living in Canada is not really the dream, or at least the Canadian dream that a lot of people were sold. And it's funny because Canada, you know, outside of Canada, there's a really good reputation that the country has, and a lot of people are able to sell the Canadian dream. There's a ton of places that have agents that are able to convince people to move to Canada. A lot of these agencies are in places like India, the Philippines, and other places as well in developing nations. And they really do a good job of selling this dream, and a lot of people come here, and if they were to watch a video like this, they'd probably say, wait a minute, is this all true? And they go fact check, and it's like, ooh, maybe Canada isn't the best place to go.
I live in an area in Toronto where you can literally get anything you want within a 5-minute walk. I'm talking about hundreds, like probably 400 or 500 shops within a 5-minute walk. And I'm right outside a subway station at Eglinton. So it's 10 minutes to Yonge and Bloor. It's 10 minutes to, you can go anywhere or do anything you want It's all literally accessible, like literally right outside my door. And honestly, I have very little interest in most of it. Like, none of it brings me any real satisfaction in life at all anymore. And it hasn't in a long time. And everywhere I go, it's the same fucking bullshit, man. Like, I can go to like 100 different neighborhoods in one day, and it's depressing in all of them.
Well, they do say that too much of a good thing is sometimes bad, and when you have that much accessibility, that much decadence and opportunity to spend your money, it doesn't ultimately lead to happiness, right? That's not what your soul wants. And Toronto is definitely becoming a soulless city. There's not a lot of warmth there. Crime is up, prices are up, and it's just not a very fun place to live anymore. I grew up in Toronto. I moved almost 3 years ago, and honestly, there's not much that I miss about it anymore. You know, at first it was definitely sad because it's a place that you grew up in your entire life, but after a while you start to miss it less, and then you hear stories like this and it makes you realize that it's just not the place that you once knew.
It may be 40% off, but look at the brown. Look at this. Look at the discoloration of the meat. Look at this. That shouldn't even be on the shelf.
What in the world is this? Oh my god. Seriously, I'm not buying this.
See what happens when you charge $32 for a steak? You get nobody buying it. Take a look at all these brown ones. Yeah, expired.
And you know what the saddest part about that is? All of those steaks are probably going to end up in the trash or something like that. They throw out an ungodly amount of food at places like Loblaws. It really is sad. If they just put the prices of the meat at something reasonable that people can actually purchase, then we wouldn't be wasting all of this food.
So I'm buying beef at Costco, and those are the prices. What the fuck? $82.29 for not even 1 kilo of fucking beef. I know it's filet mignon, but come on, $82.29? I mean, look at this. Look. What is the world coming to?
Honestly, when you see prices like that, and I've seen these prices a lot, I've done a lot of videos where I showcase my grocery hauls at places like Costco, and Costco, the red meat section is always something that fascinates me because you pay memberships to pay these prices. You pay yearly memberships of $200+ a year, and then you're paying $100 for a few steaks for your family. At this point, you could literally just go to a random restaurant like the Keg, and I think you'd probably eat for around the same price, and you get service as well on top of that. You don't have to cook it. Although I would say the quality of the meat, like the tenderloin specifically at Costco, are probably going to be better than the Keg. So you leave your thoughts about Canada in 2025. Do you believe it's a fallen state with the inflation, with the lack of trust, and also the crime as well on the rise? Leave your thoughts down below in the comment section. Maybe I'll pick it for a future video when I read some comments. And with that being said, guys, I'll see you in the next one. Take care.